Hi, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to our second episode of Rule Breakers. We hope you're all keeping safe. I'm your host, Thisumi and Abdullah.
And I'm Abdullah, yes.
Rule Breakers is where you get to meet outstanding personalities who have dared to take the road not taken. Here, you get to meet people with amazing stories beyond classroom and school walls. Children and adults who are chasing their dreams by breaking the rules. So, here to share her rule breaking story with us today is a really interesting guest. She's a young inventor from Sri Lanka. I have great pleasure in inviting Senuji Goonathilake to Rule Breakers. Hi Senuji, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
How's everyone at home doing, Senuji?
Everyone's doing fine, thank you.
Okay, that's really nice to know. And how's online classes for you?
Well, online classes are fine. I guess we've got used to it over time.
Okay, so before we get to the most interesting part of this segment, would you like to tell us a bit more about yourself, Senuji?
So, like you all said, my name is Senuji Goonathilake. I'm a student of Colombo International School, Kandy, and I'm currently in my last year of school.
It's really nice to know that you are going like online classes are good for you because I find them really, really boring. Anyway, my next question for you is you have invented something really, really interesting, an invention that helps vehicles burn fuel effectively. Can you please tell us a little bit about how this works?
Yes, so basically what happens here is we use water to support the energy production process, which results in lower fuel burning. Usually when any car is running, the alternator produces energy. And we use this energy and we send it to a water tank. And this water inside the water tank will soon break down to hydrogen and oxygen, which is then sent to the engine. Usually hydrogen is normally involved in the combustion process of any car, but the addition of oxygen helps to complete the combustion process. And why this is very important is that due to incomplete combustion, cars contribute to a lot of air pollution. So due to complete combustion, pollution does not happen, and toxic gases like carbon monoxide are no longer produced.
I really like lengthy explanation, so this was very nice to hear too. My next question for you is, what sparked your idea for this invention? Was there any specific incident that happened that sparked your idea?
Well, my dad actually owns an automobile service providing business in Colombo and Kandy, and I've been working in it as a director for the past 2 years. And due to this, I've also become a car lover since I was small. Plus, cars are becoming a major contributor towards environmental damage, and we keep on learning about environmental damage in our classes. So all what I wanted to produce was something that's going to help us still to continue using our personal vehicles without actually damaging the environment.
That's amazing. So, what was your inspiration to be an inventor? Like, who inspired you to start inventing?
Well, all I wanted to do was to create something that's going to have a positive impact on our lives and that's going to help change our lives, because especially looking at the increasing rates at which environmental damage is happening, sooner or later our lives are going to change drastically, especially towards the worst if we don't act now. So I'd say this is one tiny step that I took towards protecting the environment. And plus, I can improve a lot of lives and make people's life a bit more easier. So that's bringing me immense joy to do that.
Okay, so my next question for you is, what are the challenges you faced during your invention?
There were quite a few challenges that I faced, and one of the main ones being trying to find a car, because some people were actually willing to lend me a car, but others weren't. But there were further problems like some of the cars cannot be transported around. Some of them weren't in a condition that we could actually test the project on, and etc. But I'd say other than that, most of the other problems were related to initially designing the project and testing it along, because there were quite a lot of failures and issues, but at the end all worked out, and I'd say it was worth it.
Doing an invention is not that easy, right? Sometimes you need help from others. So, who helped you the most during this invention?
One of my main supporters is Mr. Nuan, my chemistry teacher, because he was the first person who saw my idea and actually encouraged me to start making it and producing it. And it's because of him that I'm at this place and I actually have a project with me. And also Mr. Mahesh, who is my maths teacher, because he was the person who actually lended me his own car for me to experiment on. And finally, of course, my parents, who were a huge support to me throughout this project.
Okay, so before I go to the next question, I just want to tell you that you're really lucky to have people like that to have supported you. Anyways, the next question is, when was the first time you started inventing something and what was that invention?
Well, I'd say that the first one was around 8 to 9 months ago. This is actually my first project that was produced, because although there were quite a few ideas that I had been working on, this was one of them that actually was made into a project, a real life project.
Every child has a role model, right? So, who's your role model?
My parents, they are my biggest role model, because it's because of them that I am who I am. And I've learned a lot of things, especially about life. And one of the most important things that I learned that helped me in this project was that no matter how hard things are going to get, I need to continue doing it. And it's one of the main reasons why I have succeeded in this project as well.
So inventing something requires creativity, right? So what do you think kids need to do to be creative?
Well, something that I believe is that at this age, that's like 1 to 18 to 20 years old, it's the age category that anyone's the most creative in their lifespan. And anyone can get creative at any age, but this is the lifespan we're most creative, because we learn about a lot of things and we have this, we are eager to try to somehow find a solution to it. So we're going to get a lot of different and innovative ideas. But some people might discard these ideas as childish, but one of the main things I learned is that not everyone has to actually understand or say that innovation is going to work, because some of these failed innovations are one day going to come to the market as one successful product. And another thing is that some of these products or innovations are not going to turn out to be functional products at the moment, because whatever their problem they're trying to solve may not be majorly impacting our lives currently, but in the future, it's going to impact us more. So when that day does come, these innovations are going to become assets to everyone.
I totally agree with you. By the way, there are so many kids out there with so many innovative ideas, but don't know how to execute them. Do you have any suggestions for them?
Well, I'd like to say that one of the most important things that any child who wishes to invent or have an innovative idea needs to do is trust themselves, because like I said before, not everyone's going to understand what you're doing. Some will be like, no, it's not going to work. Don't do that. It's just a waste of time. So there's going to be a lot of people who are going to discourage you. And as a child, we tend to take everyone's ideas into our head. And if we don't trust ourselves, it's going to be really hard to go ahead and succeed in what we do. Because innovations and all these innovative ideas never usually take the easy path. There's going to be so many obstacles, especially failures, because there is barely any information available, because this is an entirely novel idea. So there's going to be a lot of trying, failing, and people not encouraging you, no one supporting you. So at the end of the day, all of this is going to work. And if one day when the product becomes successful, those people who never encouraged you are going to come up to you and they're going to say like, this is an awesome product. So it's all going to be worth it at the end of the day. So all I'm saying is for them to trust themselves. And I'd like to tell another thing as well, is that It's as much as it's important for a child to trust themselves, it's important for whoever around them to try and support, even though that idea may not make any sense to you or it might not work out. Someday, if this innovation does actually work out, you're gonna regret you're gonna regret that you never told your kid to go ahead and do it. Because if Mr. Nuwan told me that day when I showed him my idea that this is not going to work, don't do it, then I would have never been here talking to you. So it's because if he supported me, I was able to invent something like this. So as at the same time, while kids need to trust themselves what they're doing, everyone around them should try to support them, even if they can't help them with all the equipments and all. Even a tiny word is going to help them. So that's all I'd like to say.
Wow, so that was some really great advice. I'm definitely going to remember that for later. The thing I would like to say next is that I want to say something about the session. It has been a very exciting session and I had lots of fun and I learned so much too. What about you, Thisumi?
Yeah, it was super fun and we learned a lot from her.
Yeah, but sadly, all good things must come to an end. Thank you, Thisumi, for joining us tonight. Thank you, Senuji, for joining us tonight. And thank you for the audience for tuning in tonight to see us. And until we meet you again with another interesting rule-breaking guest, stay safe and stay home. Thank you very much. And good night.
Thank you. Thank you for y'all for taking out your time for me.
Thank you. You're welcome.
You're welcome.